Hey, how's it going, everybody, and welcome to KSB TV show. Today we have a really nice interview partner. We are talking about, is Hex viral? Is Hex pre-viral? Are we getting there? And with all the efforts that are going on in the community right now, it's really exciting times. But first of all, I want to say hello to Hexline. Hexline, how's it going? And what kind of things do you want to talk about? And what are you most excited about in this week?
Yeah, hello everybody out there. Hope everybody is doing fine. Crypto, there is always plenty of talk about, plenty to talk about. What do we have to cover today? Of course, we want to cover news about Pulse Chain and Pulse X. We want to cover the price chart of Hex as well. And there is like a lot of different things as well. We also wanted to talk about Maxi again, what happened since our last weekly update about that, and also about Pulse Dogecoin. And I mean, what I'm working on the most right now in the background is for our golf tournament, what we have on the 5th of September in America. And I'm getting like more and more excited about that.
All right. So like always, we want to give a shout to everybody who is in the chat, like Qbet, Black Hexican. We have Cryptonauten here as well. This is going to be an interesting one because later on we will bring the Wall Street Bet crypto mod online, and we will interview him. Everybody who knows him or has looked into it, we will do that in a couple of minutes. He is right now really active pitching Hex to his community, but he is a trader. So we will talk about the Hex fundamentals and teach him about T-shares and why traders always get wrecked, and with T-shares you can just earn passive income with Hex. So, but first of all, let's jump in our topics about what I have twittered in the last couple of days, because I think on Twitter there are a lot of interesting things going on. I have a screen share already prepared. Let's bring it up. So first of all, of course, we need to give a shout out to our YouTube channel, KSB TV. We have 469 subscribers, and we need to gather more because, like Patrick is saying, we are working on 1 million Pulse tour, and this also includes the golf tournament, of course. And right now, we want to sell out all our tickets to make this a big kickoff event for PulseCon. And we are really in the works, even with the PulseCon team, working all together, networking. The community comes together, and all I'm asking for you is go here to KSB TV and subscribe so we can pump up the subscriber number here. And this is what Patrick was talking about.
And remember one thing, guys. So even if you're not able to golf, for example, like me and Abel as well, we will still be like at the event, and we will still have plenty of fun there. There will be food, there will be drinks, there will be a music video shot, there will be plenty of Hexicans who are not golfing actively. So just come by and just go with the general admission ticket if you want to, if you're not able to golf. But don't think like, golf, I don't golf, I don't need to go there. It will still be an awesome kickoff event for the conference after.
So, Patrick, what the viewers see right here are the sponsors for the golf tournament. Of course, we have Crypto Sparbuch here, PulseCon. Can you maybe pick a couple and talk about how the sponsorship came together and what they are doing? Maybe internet money would be an interesting one to mention here.
Yeah, I mean, I would start with PulseCon. So obviously that came together because our relationship with T Money, with Tony, back in June last year when we met him, and then he helped us out a lot with the cars and all the legal and administration stuff when it comes to the tour. So that's how this relationship came together, and now like him with the PulseCon, and then we saw that there is no kickoff event, so we took over that, and of course we have like a lot of cooperations there, and that's like how it goes with all the others as well. Would you like to explain internet money, for example?
I guess I'm still sharing my screen here. That shouldn't have happened. Give me a second here to take it
No,
off.
not anymore. No, it's already off.
But internet money. So what we have been able to discuss with internet money is the 20,000 giveaway, right? $20,000 giveaway. If you shoot a hole in one on a specific hole, everybody gets a chance. So I think this is really interesting. And also there are some other prizes that people can win when it comes to this golf tournament. So I think people should just come together, like the Hex conference, for example. It's always fun hanging out with the Hexicans. And on our event that we are planning, it's going to be a little bit smaller. You get really to talk to all the people there, and I think it's just a special event. So we have already showed the KSB TV /golf tournament page where people can read everything about it. So let's go on with what we have prepared, and let's talk about the first really interesting topic that is coming up today. Today, the HEX Phenomenon book got released. It is the first day that you could buy it as a Kindle version, and tomorrow is a really special event because the Phenomenon investor who wrote the book, he made this a marketing event, and maybe we can bring up the screen share here, and then I can guide the viewers through that, because I would also like to watch a little introduction video of Matt Gavidian. Here is the author of the book. So do we see the, yeah. So here we see the post of Matt. He says that the phenomenon is already number 15 in the Amazon top ranking of the books, right, in technology. So let's go to the next link, because here you can actually order this book for free. All you need to do is just send me the book now, and I did that. I ordered that book. Let's see when it takes, how much it takes to actually come. But what I would like to do is watch this introduction video here with audio. Of course, that's why I have to take down the screen share for a second and then bring it up again. Patrick, have you heard about this book yet?
Only like over the Twitter page, over the Twitter announcement, but I haven't read the book yet, no, because it's like first release today, so I haven't read the book yet. So only what came over Twitter and Telegram and that.
Exactly. So nobody was able to read the book yet, besides me, actually. I was the first one, I believe, who was able to read that, because Matt Gavidian asked me to write a foreword for that. So I did. And then I was really happy when he gave me a shout out and said that he will actually have me in there as well. So also thanked me for helping on that. And this is why I want to make the shout out here to actually buy that book, because I think it's a great book. You really learn the ins and out of cryptocurrency. So let's play that video and let's see what Matt has to say about his book.
Clicking over to this page, you're one step closer to getting the HEX Phenomenon sent out to you for free. All you have to do is pay shipping and handling. Fill out the information below, and the book will be on its way to your front door in no time at all. If you're considering if this book has value, I want to let you know that I've put a lot of effort to making sure that this book provides tons of value and the right information that you'll need. A couple of examples that you'll get in this book is the basics of crypto. So if you're looking how to learn where to start, how to move your fiat currency into cryptocurrency, how to protect it. That's a huge thing. Security is the number one thing, and I teach you how to secure your crypto at a high level. The power of community. Cryptocurrency is a community-based movement. There's the power of decentralization and taking back the power from government. That's what crypto is designed to do. And I'll teach you how to find the best communities that have a lot of power and a lot of strategy behind the tokens and cryptos they support. Also, why I believe that strategy is one of the best skills that you need to know going into this journey. I teach you about how to form a solid strategy, understanding what utility means, and how to properly pick the cryptocurrencies that will go on to 100x or 1000x over the time that you hold them. And finally, what's the future look like? I believe that we are at the forefront, the gunslingers of the cryptocurrency universe. This is just getting started. It's the tip of the iceberg. So the information and power that you learn today and put into action will reap you massive rewards in the future. Crypto's here to stay. It's the future. And as you get into this as early as you can, you'll stand to make the most gains possible. I wish you the best of luck, and I look forward to sending the book out to you. We'll see you soon.
So this was what Matt Gavidian has to say, and I think it's really interesting. I read the book already, and it's really all the surroundings that you need to know. Patrick, you are in crypto since more than 3 years now. You know already how to set up a wallet, right? How are the securities? You just said it. So maybe you can give your thoughts about for new people. What do they need to know, or where should they look in order to understand crypto entirely, about understanding what we are teaching here with HEX and Pulse X?
Yeah, when it comes to start off at the crypto market, we always teach that you need to have two important things. The first important things you need is to figure out like where can you change your local fiat money to the first cryptos, primarily Ethereum still. Hopefully, like in 6 months, 1 year, even on centralized exchanges with the currency pools. And the second important thing what you need to have is your privately owned crypto wallet, where only you have the private key for it, where nobody else has a shared account with you, for example. Because remember, when you have a bank account in the traditional bank system, it's a shared account, and the bank can go anytime and suspend you from withdrawing your money, basically. And then when it comes to the crypto industry, again, all the centralized exchanges are shared account options. So if the centralized exchange says, we are missing like some data, or you're making like some uh, weird things what we cannot figure out on the crypto market, and they can also suspend you completely from trading. Not so if you have everything on your private crypto wallet, where only you have the private key and nobody else. It's also a little risk because only you have the private key, so you need to take care how to secure it and how to never share it and never get problems and hacked with it. But it's actually a feature and not a bug that only you have the power over your money. That's why cryptocurrency was invented, to get rid of all the middlemen.
Yeah, exactly. We are teaching how to be your own bank, and this is also the main topic of the book. So let's go back to the screen share, and there we see today here at Amazon the launch actually started. Today is the June 7th. It's the first day that you can buy this. It's only 99 cents, so I will for sure do it. I already ordered the paperback, just like I showed you guys before. It is easy to order it for free. Basically, you just have to handle the shipping. But the big marketing idea behind this is that all the Hexicans buy the book, the Kindle version, tomorrow, and you can even download the free app so you can read the book. And this book is really something to recommend to new people to onboard. So what Patrick just talked about, this 5 years of experience, you can find all these informations in this book as well. So that's why I think it's great. And plus there comes out this big marketing, guerrilla marketing action here, basically, because if this book would be #1 news bestseller on Amazon, this would reach a lot of eyes from people that are seeking for investment advice, and this would be so great here. And Patrick, you have seen the last couple of days. Richard was even on a TV, Fox Business, I believe. Yeah, Fox News, Fox Business. We will show it here in a second. But before that, he said, I coined the term pre-viral in cryptocurrency. Hex.com is pre-viral. I mean, the world has talked about pre-viral already. We have so many things that are viral, but rather less you would talk about something that is not even viral yet. You would only see the viral things, the viral videos, right? With somebody riding on a skateboard, drinking cranberry juice, and then the next couple of days, cranberry juice is sold out in all the stores. And this term, pre-viral, Richard really termed that for cryptocurrencies. And I think this is exactly what Hex is. And with all the efforts of the different communities that we see onboarding like crazy, I'm pretty sure that we will see new all-time highs in Hex again. I mean, we will later on also talk about the Hex price and how after every high we found a low and then there came a new high again. Of course, this time the situation is a little bit different now with the bear market evolving. But with the locking up mechanism, I really want to talk about the fundamental today when the crypto mod guy comes on today. I want to teach him the fundamentals, basically what we have taught to all our viewers when they came to the 5555 tour. So Patrick, do you have something that you think is like the most interesting thing when it comes to Hex being pre-viral, and how interesting can it be when Hex becomes viral? What could change when it comes to the marketing?
What can change? I don't know. Like when the marketing sets, and lots of people are coming to be an active hex staker out of that, then what will happen is that the price rises, and there is like a kind of a formula. I don't know like how well it holds, but it says if you 10x your user base, then if you're 2x your user base, if you double your user base, then you 5 to 10x your price. But that's like, I don't take too much about like those kind of statistics. Um, but in the end, the more user a cryptocurrency has, the more viral it becomes, and with this virality, the price rises.
Exactly, and you see Richard Hart is working hard. On the next one, we see here the video of Hex Coin, just a YouTube channel that uploads videos of Richard Hart. And here we see the 5-minute clip where Richard Hart was on Fox News. Patrick, have you seen the clip yet? What did you get out of that?
I have seen the clip yet. I mean, what did I get out of you? There was like no news or something like that from Richard. It was more or less like Richard going with his marketing and just getting the guy to realize that he is like the best person in on the crypto market, in the crypto scene, who literally like did call Bitcoin on its highest day that it will go down, and yeah, was right since then.
And
So it
from
was
the interview,
it was a lot like a interview, a lot like Richard bragging about um, his calls.
but I think it was an interview like we have seen in the past, right? When Hex came out 2.5 years ago, we saw a couple of interviews that were going with this storyline. With Richard, I found an article, "You are a scammer." Also, there's an article of you being accused being a spam king. And Richard
Yeah,
was
that was like a joke. That was like a joke.
exactly like Richard is able to offend those comments really, really quick by now, and is turning it around really quick. I love to see that. And yeah, a lot of views were on this TV show, I believe. Like a lot of streams came after that. And the most important thing that I want to tell the Hexicans is that everything that we are doing is that we have to also put it on social media, right? On Twitter, for example, or talk about it on YouTube, recommend it to other people, because our mouth-to-mouth marketing that we are having, Richard Hart going on other streams, or us doing the million post tour, but everything needs to be online, because that's where we scale. And I think this is exactly what Richard Hart was doing with this interview. So let's go
I
on.
find
We
it let's go back like for a
Yeah,
little
sure.
second. So what I find like a little bit disgusting from like Fox Business itself is that at the third currency they still show Litecoin, where it's already known that the founder like dumped on his community back in the end of 17. Then he made like false promises of technical developments which never happened, and they still show it. I don't know. I mean, Litecoin is, for me, it's nearly like Dogecoin. It's just like a joke copycat of Bitcoin, and yeah.
And
Uh,
you mentioned the dumping here. Maybe you can also say something to Richard Hart's argument, Vitalik Buterin always dumping at the top. What does that mean, and why is that not good for a currency? Maybe you can also go into the point of the
you
OA,
really
like
need an
which is
answer.
doing
You
actually.
really need an answer to the question, like why it's not good for a currency if the biggest holder are dumping the price.
Well, we're doing our show for the viewers, right?
Yeah, of
So I
course,
bet
yeah.
they would
But
like to know.
yeah. So why is that? Yeah, because uh, if the biggest holder like the Ethereum Foundation and Vitalik Buterin are dumping the ETH price, then the price goes down, obviously, and it did. Um, they did in the beginning of 18, and they did last year as well. So the top of the Ethereum price chart was definitely caused by the Ethereum Foundation
Exactly, and
twice.
Richard obviously then turning it around really quick, that he said that the OA has never sold any coins, and also giving in a plus argument that everybody can look at the trading. The trading is really transparent on chain, while you don't have that in other markets where everything is just transparent and viewable, right? And
Yeah,
this
and
is
like
also
back like just a second to Litecoin, because I brought up the chart as well, and it even like in this last bull market, it only went up to a little new all-time high. So most people got into Litecoin in the last 2 weeks of the 2017 bull run, and then even the last year bull run only reached like a tiny little bit of a higher high. And
you want to bring up the
already like
screen share so we can see
you
the?
you can.
Yep, we'll bring it up in a second, so we can actually
Yeah,
see what you're talking about.
you need to tell me like
We
when
got
you
it.
see it.
Yep, we have it now.
All right. So what you can see here, this is like the 17 top. Most people came in those 2 weeks here. And last year in May, so like over a year ago, it reached like a tiny little more. And then I guess this was November. And then in November, when Bitcoin reached this like one new all-time high, this blip, and Ethereum also did it make a new all-time high? Yeah, I guess, yeah. Litecoin already felt behind with no new all-time high. And if you measure that, it's like, where is measurement tools here? Let's see what we have here from the all-time high till the low a couple of weeks ago. We also have like a 90% drop. So uh, they should really think about it, like what kind of cryptocurrencies they show, because Litecoin also isn't like far off being the third largest cryptocurrency, for example. So I guess we can pull down my screen share again. I just wanted to make a little point.
So maybe we can go into the chat here. Susie Q is saying, what is the best tool that works best for you when it comes to onboarding? Is it bus cards or flyers? Well, we have done both on the 5555 tour. And also, I think what's a great success was when I gave out 50,000 business cards at the HEX conference. And Susie Q was one of my biggest supporters. She got a lot of business cards and was just giving them out. But again, the most important thing is that she also took a picture and send it, posted it on Twitter to inspire other people. And this just sparked somehow the interest of the Hexicans having print media hand out and having stickers everywhere. We see that at gas stations and so on. I think that's a great job. So Susie Q, thank you for all you're doing. I think every Hexican can be inspired by what you are doing. So Archie S is saying Richard looked like he had just shaved. Yeah, we have definitely a new look, right? On this really important interview, he looked really cleaned up, and he was on this really good behavior, really good interview from what I have seen. What do you think?
Absolutely. And speaking about interviews, I see in the green room that we have our interview partner here.
All right, perfect. So let's go to the next screen share that I have prepared. Let me bring it up so we can actually have a little introduction, because we didn't get to this last point yet. The reason why I was interested in Wall Street Crypto Mod, you see here, we posted it out a couple of hours ago, is because I'm looking at Luna Crush here, for example. And if you go into Luna Crush, type in Hex, you can find the biggest influencers here for the last months, for example. And the Wall Street Bet Crypto Mod is here right up there as the second biggest player as Hex influencers, just with me as the third person here, Maximus Jenkins. So it's pretty interesting what guys you find here. And because he was making so much noise about Hex, I wanted to find out a little bit more about him. So it's great that we have in the stream. Let's take down the screen share and let's bring him up. I have a couple of questions prepared for him. So let's welcome him. Hi, Wall Street Trader Rocco. How's it going?
Yeah, good guys. How's it going?
Really good.
Really good.
So I see you are really active in the Hex community right now, telling your community also about Hex and telling everybody how Hex is. So let me ask you a couple of questions that we always ask our interview partners. So since when are you in crypto, and how is your crypto journey going? What are you concentrating on?
So I've been in crypto since early 2017. So I was just mainly trading Bitcoin, then got involved with altcoins later on. And I used to have a job back then, but just like staying awake 20 hours a day in meetings, going to toilet and trading, setting alerts. Like, it was crazy time back in 2017. And yeah, so I've just been trading really crypto, and I didn't really get involved with communities that much. So I wasn't really part of many communities. I was part of Litecoin for a bit. I worked for Litecoin Foundation when Litecoin was breaking out, and then with the drama with Charlie Lee selling all his coins, LitePay failing. I don't know how much you guys know about Litecoin.
Yeah, we just covered it a little bit, because I was like a little surprised that where Richard was on Fox Business, that they showed like cryptocurrency, and they showed Bitcoin, Ethereum, And as a third one, they showed Litecoin, and I was like, that's a joke, you know, it must be
Yeah.
a joke. And then I just also brought up the chart, which only shows like a tiny little new all-time high, and then like immediately another sell-off, and also like in this bear market already down 90%.
Yeah, so and just learning a lot about crypto. So I've been trading forex since 2014, and then with crypto's help, I was able to go full time back in 2018, and I started trading oil, like day trading oil. And then crypto, I didn't take as much profit in 2017. It was like my first bull market cycle. So yeah, got just trading, and then last year I got involved with a few different communities. So I was part of like a couple of Ethereum communities, and then Luna was the crazy one, and obviously Luna didn't end well. But I got involved with Luna less than $5, and I was with all the protocols, Anchor protocol, Mirror protocol, and yeah, it was just a crazy run in Luna. And then once that deep egg happened, and some people called it, that just went burst. One thing I like about Hex is there's Hex is not similar to Luna, but it's got that people thinking long term and locking up supply. And in a bull market, this works as I tried to explain it in my live stream, where if you take supply off and the demand goes up or even stays the same, the price can go exponentially up. It could work the other way, if people start unstaking. But I know you get penalized, don't you, if you unstake? If
Yeah,
you guys can.
exactly.
Yeah, but you know, you can also say that like, okay, in the future, old stakes are coming due, and yeah, it's always those cycles. But I totally agree to you. For example, the time March 2020 to May 2020, so only in those 2 months, it was like when the pandemic really hit and all the countries went in their first lockdown. Uh, at this time, Hex was still in the launch phase, so there wasn't like all the supply already given out, or yeah, it was like 1/3 of the launch phase was done, and there Hex got like the first time completely decorrelated from the main market. So main markets started to dropping, and big whales just jumped on Hex and moved their ease into Hex. And because back then the the staking ratio was about like 70%, Hex did nearly 5,000% in only 6 weeks.
This is that's what I sort of going back to Luna. That's why I got involved in Luna, because Luna had a burning mechanism. So every time you minted UST, Luna would get burnt, and the supply was just literally drying up. But then on the other side, it was the negative. Then if you burn, if you try to give up UST, you mint Luna, and the supply goes exponentially crazy. Um,
Mhm.
but that's what I think. So if I tweet about it a few times, so if Hex goes in another bull run and people start buying and staking Hex, if Bitcoin does 10%, Hex will probably do 1,000% or even more, because of the supply being reduced so much and locked up.
Yeah, and also because of the user base. So where can Bitcoin grow to? So in Bitcoin, you already have the billionaires of the world invested. In Bitcoin, you already
Yeah.
have the biggest institutions invested in the coin. In Hex, you haven't. In Hex, you not even have like central exchange listings from centralized exchanges where everybody would know, like Coinbase or Binance. So there is so much upside potential, so much room to grow. It's only a little community based on like around 100,000 active stakers, and also the number with 400,000 holders. You can easily withdraw 170,000 of that, which was a free airdrop over a new system, which afterwards nobody used, to 175 wallets, 175,000 wallets. That was summer of 2020. So there
So
is
Rocco,
it's just a little community right now still.
Yeah.
Rocco, let me go on with my question. So you started talking about Hex. Have you been able to look into Hex? Because my next question would be, what was drawing you to Hex? Maybe when did you see Hex the first time?
So
And
there's two guys. So there's a guy in my community. He got involved in Hex quite early, and I think he made a lot of money on Hex. And that he always told me get into Hex, get into Hex. And then I think I tweeted something about Hex. I can't remember what it was a few months ago, And then people just started retweeting like, "Oh, Rocco, you need to get involved with Hex. You need to get involved with Hex." And yeah, that's when I started doing research. And obviously, those are a few things that I started liking about Hex, especially the long term where you lock up supply. That's something that, from trading demand and supply point of view, that's what demands price. If there's more
Yeah,
supply, demand goes down.
even a little bit more, because you have like really this lock up mechanism. It's not like those usually staking coins where you have like tons out there on the market where you can stake and unstake your whole volume at every point in time. When it comes to the hex staking, you can choose how much stakes you want to do. You can make like thousands or only one,
Yeah.
and you choose the amount and you choose the days. But once you choose that, you are locked in for this amount of time. Because if you're wanting to get out earlier than you yourself said you will do, then you get penalized.
And
This
also
truth engine actually makes everybody behave in a certain way, right? So I think
Yeah.
this is great. This is really something innovational. Have you been able to really look into the fundamentals of Hex? I'm just interested in that, because
So
this is all
not
we are
so
talking
much.
about every day.
I've read I've looked on the website, how it works, the FAQ. Is there like a detailed white paper? I know there's a small document. I've not seen a detailed white paper. I need to read the more information about Hex, but just from outside point of
Yeah,
view, the
there are
marketing
many
Yeah,
wise.
links.
let's do it here on the stream.
Yeah,
What
let's do
would
it.
be
Shall I?
like
Do you guys want to bring it up?
a question?
Or shall I
No,
bring it
no,
up?
but like, what would be like a question what you haven't answered for it?
So my main question two main question I've got is the use cases. So is it trying to be a store of value? Is it trying to be like a payments mechanism? What is the sort of goal for Hex?
Monetizing time. Monetizing time is the biggest use case for it.
And let me bring up here the hex.com page, because I go there every single day basically to get my inspiration as a content creator for Hex, right? Like nobody is paying me. I just, like Patrick, and an early investor, and I want to teach people about this amazing financial asset.
Yeah.
And right here in front, it says the first blockchain certificate of deposit. So it's nothing new, right? The banks have certificates of deposit for such a long time. And the idea behind that is as more you stake, as more you lock up, and as longer you lock up, as more interest you're getting. And since Hex has no externalities, right? No banks, no personnel to pay, no taxes to pay, we can give this inflation that is produced to the staker class. And whoever is staking receives interest, and depending on how many T shares you hold. And this is really something interesting. And not only that, we have an amazing game theory in Hex. We also have the founder, Richard Hart, who is fighting for the right things in crypto, like having blockchains running with 100% uptime, Pulse Chain, Pulse X is coming out in the future. But Hex.com also is audited 3 times, right? He wants to make sure he has a finished financial product that everybody is safe to use. And his marketing actions of the community, for example, we see here. But Patrick, let's go deeper into the fundamentals of Hex. If we scroll down here, we see somewhere the FAQs. I think, Rocco, you have talked about that already. You can find basically everything here. And there are also some links for other sites that we can go. But Patrick, when we have been on the 5555 tour, what is the main fundamental thing that you think is the most important to understand Hex and its fundamental of the T-share system, for example?
Yeah, that's a good question.
But I don't know like where you want to lead me to right now. I have like 5 things in mind. So
yeah, exactly. Wherever you think.
Now give me a hint, because you have something specific in mind, like a specific slide from our workshop tour or something like that. And I have no idea what you want what you want from me right now.
Yeah, for sure. So maybe we can just talk about the mathematics, right? With the T-share price only rising. So why is that in fundamental innovation that we have in crypto? Why is that possible now to distribute trustless interest in a way where it has never been able before? And why do we eliminate the need of trading, for example? I think that's going to be interesting for Rocco, for example, because he's doing trading in order to get more crypto. But now with hex staking, we do not have to do that risk anymore with counterparty risk.
Yeah, the thing with Bitcoin, for example, is you can only buy it, hold it, and wait for it to go up in price. You cannot make more Bitcoin out of it, and that's why a lot of people are in the trading game, because they want to have more Bitcoin, and that's why they are trading Bitcoin, for example, to get more. When it comes to Hex, with the staking mechanism, you can just like kind of eliminate trading because you can set yourself a staking ladder, and then you just have passive income working for you, which multiplies with the current rise as well. And some innovation, what you have spoken about is, for example, the so-called share rate. It's when you have a system which pays interest, it's not possible in a decentralized way to say you have like millions of individual wallets staking, that you give them a kind of a compound interest, because it would just be too much transactions. And that's why Richard Hart initiated this share rate mechanism. So everybody who actively stakes his hex is receiving shares. And then it just depends how much of the share pool you have. Let's say you have like 1% of all the shares, then you will also get credited 1% of the daily created inflation, which is the interest, to your stake or to your stakes. And again, you will only have the availability of all this accrued interest once your selected time period is over. So at the end of every time period, at the end of every stake, you get back your principal plus all the accrued interest. And where is the money come from? The accrued interest comes from the inflation of the coin itself. But as it only gets to the active stakers, where we only have like a little less than 10% staking ratio, so all the coins which are in existence, a little less than 10% are only actively staked. And that's why everybody gets such a high return of investment, such a high interest rate, because the whole inflation of 3.69% gets on this 10% of people making the average about 38% APY.
So, Rocco, what is your experience with trading, and maybe have you tried hex staking yet?
So I've not tried hex staking yet. I was looking at the charts. I was just the charting wise, I wanted to see a trend change. So that's one of the things I look for before from completely trading point of view. And Hex is holding support, but it's not really trend changed yet. So I'll probably be waiting before I buy and stake. That's just one of my rules, because long term, I think it's very hard to predict anything. With Hex, I think it's definitely not like a coin like Luna or other cryptocurrencies where you can just change and it can just go wrong. The issue with Hex, the concern with Hex is the supply. So is it 3.5% supply increase? 3.6%?
3.69 as a maximum per year.
Yeah, so one thing is we'd need the supply of Hex to increase by 3.6% to keep up with the price. If it's increasing at one point, if people want to take profit,
Yeah.
so that is
Yeah, I
one of
mean
the.
it's hard to say, because you cannot put that like in a linear perspective, because 3.69% is just like the base inflation of the coin, but it gets to the staker class, and this staker class has an average locking time of 6.6, 6.7 years right now, which means that most of this inflation is delayed to the future. And if you then look another layer deeper, where you look, okay, on which wallets is this inflation going to? And there you see, okay, the origin address with its daughter addresses has about 19.5
So can
percentage
we?
of
Have
the
you got,
whole staking mechanism and so on. So
sorry to interrupt, mate. Is there a
yeah,
website where it shows you the unlock time, what amount of Hex will be unlocked when?
there is only a website where it shows you how much principal will be unlocked. But I'm not aware of a website which shows you like in an easy way how much principal plus interest will become
Because
out.
that will be quite
But
useful information.
I mean, what
I think
is
we
out
have an
there
app here.
at Hex Daily Stats is minted inflation, which means like not including principal, but all the end stakes in a 24-hour period, how much
Okay.
interest they got, like minted inflation.
Okay, so how much minted?
Let's bring up here my screen share. I have something interesting to show to Rocco, because this is also a page that we showed on our 5555 tour to the people, because here you see the future market supply of HEX, something that other coins do not really have. In HEX, we have the truth engine that makes everybody behave in a certain way. You will not emergency end stake too early, because then the penalty would be that high, right? So this actually produces us this chart. And today we see we have June 7th, I believe. So we have stakes
July.
coming out today. You see July 7th, yeah. And
And
then
it's
you
not
can see on
today.
those.
Can you don't please say today if you're in a 4-week per candle chart?
Oh yeah, in this, okay, in this 4
You cannot
week,
see that,
for
but
sure.
if you go a little bit down, then you would see the 4-week down there. Yeah, per 4 weeks
Yeah, yeah.
it says. So please don't sell that billions of HEX are coming out today. That's like the short-term stakers within the next 4-week range.
Well, the fact is a lot of HEX is coming out, but what are these people doing, Patrick? Maybe you can explain a little bit more why we have a high wall here, and maybe why we have the staking looking like it is right now, and why can it give us a little bit of security?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, with the big timeline chart here, you see that people have like a short time preferences. That's why you see like in the first 2 years there is definitely a bulk, and then like a month rolling forward there is like this huge spike. So like can you mark it? No, okay.
I cannot mark on there.
And of course you can like just go with the mouse over. Yeah, so this first, yeah, this not on 2030. I was still like speaking about this first one on the left side.
Yeah.
Yep, those are all the short-term stakers, and since months and years we can see that just moving forward for people who are staking, for example, like 50 million hex, just taking those monthly profits. Also for other people taking that as a strategy, they are purchasing their hex back and then like just make a 30-day stake and take the interest of those 30 days to put it for 15.2 years, because it's like a risk-free trade, so to speak. And then you see those spikes in the picture. That is like the origin address, daughter addresses who put it there, some stakes, and then the two spikes in the end. So this in the middle, this was also like a kind of born in the early days of Hex, because a lot of people thought uh, that they only stake until the 10-year mark, because there are no more staking boni after the 10-year mark. But you will still keep those T shares. So staking for 5555 is way more beneficial than for just 10 years. And then the two last spikes, I guess this is like Godwale, what I know. So like the biggest hex holder just getting his hex, and then he had like a early stake already coming out last year, and moved parts of that for 5555. And then I guess the last one is also like from him.
So I think for people that want to look into numbers, this is really interesting. We have hex.vision or hex graphs, where we have just numbers where people can study, and those fundamentals really get clear then, because the T-share price just moving up, making the old investors earning more and more interest, just makes it for the game theory where people want to stake early and long. And this is what we were able to do in the Hex community. Everybody is staking for 5555. Even the Godwell, one of the first investors in cryptocurrency, in Ethereum, right? He is a big supporter of Hex and staked out long-term 15 years. And we know this money will not leave the ecosystem. So Rocco, let me ask you something. Like, since you've been able to be in crypto for such a long time, probably holding Ethereum and a lot of other ERC20 tokens, have you heard about the new project PulseChain and PulseX coming out from Richard Hart, and that all those coins will be copied over for free on PulseChain?
Yeah, so that is quite exciting. I mean, one of the things I do, another reason, so three things I like. So one was the supply reduction, one was the long term thinking of Hex, and the other thing was Pulse Chain, because usually there's like a buy the rumor, sell the news event, and from a personal trading point of view, that usually has a lot of marketing, a lot of hype. People who want to know about Pulse Chain and Hex. So I'm looking forward to it. I've not found any dates yet, so maybe you guys can help me, more information on Pulse Chain. But going on your own chain, that's always a positive. We've seen it with lots of projects moving onto their own chain, and that's always had positive impact on the community and also the price.
Oh yeah, of course. Also, as of so far, we do not have a date. We had the announcement of Richard Hart saying mid-May, but the developers are still working on it. He's creating an ecosystem where we all put a lot of money onto, right? And he just wants to make sure that everything is 100% secure. And right now, there are bugs that need fixes, right? They could deploy it, but they then have those bugs could be exploited, and then they would need to have to stop the blockchain, and he just does not want that. So I do not know when it comes out. We have our million poster, right? We are marketing Hex, Pulse, and Pulse X locally in America, in cities, making workshops where
In
people
London,
come to those.
Hex had good marketing in London. There was on London buses and train stations. I don't know if you've seen it.
Exactly, of course. I've been in Hex since day one. I've seen those buses when they came out.
It's
So
crazy.
we have always the Hex community is so strong in marketing Hex. Everybody takes it in their own hand to make something like this, just as us with the tour that we had and the tour that is coming. And yeah, and now it's really interesting to see Richard Hart being on TV multiple times already. Guys like you talking about Hex, just because it's an interesting thing, right? The new phenomenon and the new opportunity with Pulse and Pulse X coming out in the future. And with
So
you,
it's their own chain, isn't it? So Pulse Chain is going to be like their own chain, own ecosystem.
yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So Richard Hart invented Hex, but he always said if Ethereum gonna start suck because of the fees, for example, then we need to create an own chain. So what Richard Hart is doing is he's forking Pulse Chain, bringing up the full system fork. So all the coins and all the transactions on Ethereum will be copied over to Pulse Chain, and everybody who has crypto on this day, Ethereum or ERC20 coins, will have a free copy on that on Pulse Chain and can do whatever they want with that. And what is the innovation about that is that we had forks of Ethereum in the past, but they were not full system forks. They were all ghost chains. Nobody's using it. I think BNB is pretty successful, but it's nothing like Pulse Chain, where you do not have proof of work anymore, but proof of stake. And with this big innovation, I think some of people are saying Pulse Chain could launch the next bull market, because I don't know, Patrick, if you have seen it, but today BitBoy Crypto, for example, right, one of the guys, the biggest guys in crypto, talking about Hex today as well, talking about how excited he is for Pulse Chain and how he is admiring Richard Hart. So there was always a lot of gatekeeping when it comes to Hex, but I have the feeling it won't be like this in Pulse Chain anymore. More and more people are really jumping on the train and are interested in Richard Hart. But
Yeah, I mean,
Rocco, have you been able?
there are also some rumors that like exchanges already sacrificed for Pulse or Pulse X. There are rumors that from day one exchange and more known exchange will be out there with the listing like a direct fiat on and off ramp, and there is definitely less counter when it comes to Pulse Chain and Pulse X. Of course, there are also like 2 or 3 articles stating that it's like a scam or like another game of Richard enriching himself further or something like that bullshit. But in general, the market sentiment is like really, really good. The only thing which worries me a little bit is like further delays. But let's see. Software is generally speaking hard, and there are still thousands and thousands of people waiting for it to drop. And I guess there is, no matter the the general economic surrounding when it comes to Pulse and Pulse X launch, there are just people waiting with money for that to happen. So
Exactly.
I'm still pretty bullish on that.
Me too. So, Rocco, let me ask you this: when Pulse Chain comes out, Pulse X comes out, you will probably have a lot of free coins, and you could tell your community about that. Is that something you would look into it, and especially for trading on Pulse Chain, I guess?
Sorry, so you'd get what, free airdrops on Pulse Chain?
Exactly. So
Yeah,
let's say if you have one Ethereum
for every year. Can you please not start with Ethereum, bro? Like with the most complicated thing you start. Why?
Well,
But yeah,
I
go
think I
ahead,
make
please. Go
So if you
ahead.
have one Ethereum, for example, this will be copied over as one Pulse chain, right? If you have ERC20 tokens, I advise to buy HEX, for example, then you will have this HEX like you bought it on the Ethereum chain, but you will have it for free on the Pulse chain as well. And this goes with all the other ERC20 coins as well, like Chainlink, for example, or all the other ones. And what is the biggest innovation?
Now I would like to ask him if he understood your explanation of what happens to Ethereum.
No, I think I need a bit more. So if you have, would you not get Pulse Chain? Is Pulse Chain gonna have their own token?
Yes, the PLS token. So
And
and it is
so go on,
a
mate.
fork. Like you said, you're in crypto since early 17. So you
Yes,
were at the time where Bitcoin forked to Bitcoin Cash, right?
yes, Roger.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and this is a kind of similar. So Richard is going to fork the Ethereum chain, but not only like Ethereum itself. So everything which is on the platform. So also the codes of the decentralized exchanges like Uniswap, also like each and every ERC20 coin which is on there. So if you have like Chainlink or Hex or Pulse Dogecoin or Maximus or whatever ERC20 coin you're holding, you will get a free copy of that one-to-one on the Pulse chain, individually tradable on the different chain. So let's say you have a 10,000 hex, then the fork happens, you sell the 10,000 hex on the East chain, you still have the 10,000 hex on the Pulse chain. But so we will double your coins, but we don't know like what valuation they will have. And when it comes to Ethereum itself, there you can only make a really bad deal, so to speak. So one Ethereum right now is around like the $1,000, and you will only get a freemium, like one Ethereum to one free PLS coin, but one Pulse chain coin will definitely be less than a penny in the beginning. So basically, if you do that, like to just get Pulse, to buy Ethereum now and just hold them, that's like the worst trade of all, because you would need $1,000 to buy one Ethereum now, and then you only get one Pulse for free. If
one
you
Pulse Chain for
buy
one Ethereum.
for one Ethereum, yeah, that's the only freemium. Everything else was given out during the sacrifice phase.
But if there's if you have other coins on the Ethereum network, will they be transferred as well? So I didn't really understand that. So if you've got
Yeah,
other
yeah. All
ERC20,
the ERC20 coins will get a automatic free one-to-one copy of their coin on the Pulse chain. So Chainlink will become Chainlink on the Pulse chain. Hex will become Hex on the Pulse chain. What are the
what will
ERC20
happen to
tokens
the
are there?
market cap? So I mean, let's say Chainlink's got a crazy market cap, and there's lots of
It,
other
it doesn't
ERC20
it, it
tokens.
doesn't matter. It is like a new, so Chainlink will be on Pulse chain, and then it depends on the Chainlink community. Is some holder of this coin going to make a decentralized pool on PulseX? Are they adapting? Are they maybe moving their ERC version onto the Pulse chain, and then they would have the other half for free. So they would have already the same amount on the Pulse chain. So what they could then start doing is putting their ERC version of the coin with the Pulse chain version of the same coin into a liquidity pair to reach, for example, parity of prices throughout the chains. But what you were speaking about with market cap, it does not affect any current market cap because those are copies onto the new blockchain, and it would be like from a technical perspective a different coin. It still has just the same name because it's the copy from the Ethereum network.
Yeah, so the price of one Chainlink on Pulse chain won't be the same price as it's on Ethereum chain.
Yeah, most likely. So when it
Yeah,
comes to prices, have the we are just like in the speculative world. So we don't know like what
but that's a
uh
huge amount of work. I mean, I'm not a coder, but
mhm.
I don't know how the developers are going to do that. It's a big amount of
um
work.
kind of. So it's just like that you fork everything, and from there you make some changes and develop, like the proof of work to proof of stake change, like that all the decentralized liquidity will be centralized to Pulse X, and uh, all the other things, it's like the communities itself need to update that. Of course, Richard and his development team took care that there is a front end of for hex staking, but for example, for Chainlink, they need to put a
Yeah.
user interface onto the Pulse chain, and therefore we have to test it.
Will there be
So
like
maybe we
layer 2
can,
solutions as well, like Matic and stuff?
and that's exactly what it is. Like I have a screen share here, so let's bring that on, and then we see here the Pulse chain goals when you go to pulsechain.com, for example. It is also made to increase Ethereum's value, right? By offloading a lot of transaction to Pulse chain, and now on Pulse chain you can do your trades because you have your coins there already, you know, and maybe later on when you want to cash out, you bridge it over to Ethereum, for example. This is just one use case, right? But also Pulse chain was introduced here to remove pollution, for example, going from proof of work to proof of stake. But Patrick, let's talk about this biggest innovation that we have here with 100% inflation, and it's actually deflationary, right? Rocco, you mentioned that you like that when coins are actually burned.
Yeah, so when it comes to Pulse chain, to the coin itself, it was completely given out during the sacrifice phase, and it has no inflation, so none of the 3.69 like Hex or something like that, and it is in the end deflationary because with every single transaction, 25% of the fee from this transaction will get automatically burned. And the proof of stake validators, they only get like 75% of the fees in total.
So yeah, and then when you get your airdrop or your whole community basically gets everybody gets the airdrop. Even in 1 or 2 years, when people have not found Pulsechain yet, they will go to pulsechain.com eventually. It's really easy to use. You only need to use your MetaMask, go from Ethereum chain to the Pulse chain. You find your coins there, and like I bet, like for years and years, people will be happy that they will find their new free coins there. And it's just so crazy that nobody knows about it, right? So this is why it's so important, I think, to reach out to the crypto community and tell everybody the biggest airdrop in crypto history is about to come. So I'm really, really excited about that.
And I mean, there are a lot of groups and teams and projects on the Ethereum blockchain which cannot move anymore because the fees are
Yeah.
got too high for them, and there that's also like a new opportunity. So their communities and themselves, if they hold their specific coins, they will also get the free airdrop on Pulse chain. So for example, what they could do, they can just wait for Pulse chain to launch and just migrate there. Just say, okay, let's build on the Pulse chain right now because here we have a environment, a fee tariff environment, which is way more favorable than on the East chain because like testnet shows us that one transaction fee will be like in the like a hundreds of a penny, a thousands of a penny, something like that.
So, Rocco, do you have some more questions about Hex or Pulse chain in general? Is there something that you wanted to talk about? Some questions that you have, maybe?
Yeah, my main thing was the demand. So I'm pretty confident that in the next bull market with Hex's marketing, I mean, one thing I will say is I hope Pulse Chain don't launch until Bitcoin is in an uptrend and pumping. Then we'll make a lot more money on Pulse Chain. It will pump a lot more when Bitcoin and altcoins is pumping. But my main question for long term is the demand for Hex.
I mean,
That is my main question.
I hope I can answer that a little bit. I already heard a little bit that you also look at the market cap number, which is I don't know, like what does market cap tell you as a trader? Because it for me it tells me nothing. Because as a trader, I wanted to find out, are there more buyers than sellers, or are there more sellers than buyers? Because that
No,
is the biggest indicator for the price. Because if somebody sells more than another person buys, the price goes down. And if somebody
yeah,
buys more than the other person sells, the price goes up.
yeah.
It's
So I
as
can
easy
talk
as
about
that.
that.
Yeah. So
So
why not?
market cap, one of the things I look for the market cap is if you look at like a coin that's got one 10 billion market cap or 100 billion market cap, it'd be a lot easier to move. So if someone starts buying it, it would be a lot easier to move the price. So let's say you buy
I
Bitcoin.
completely
So
disagree on that because it only depends how much liquidity is on chain or on the centralized exchanges. Because
yeah,
if you say, okay, there is like 100 million of total liquidity, of course I need another 100 million to 4x the price. But if there is only 10 million, then I only need like 10 million to 4x the price. But then
yeah,
again, that has nothing to do with market cap.
no, but if a coin's got less market cap, they usually have less liquidity. So if you look at the top 10 market cap, Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, those have got huge market caps, very very liquidity. I mean, I get your point. So but there's a link between the market cap and liquidity. Usually, less liquid coins are the coins with small market cap.
I think there's a point to that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there might be a link to that. I don't
you're right. So
disagree,
the terminology should
but
be the liquidity, because it's
yeah,
that's what it comes down to. It's the liquidity. If there's less liquid, there's only like 10. I'm just exaggerating, but 10,000 coins available, and I'm buying 5,000. The price will go up a lot more than if there's 100 million and then I'm buying 10,000. So it comes down to liquidity. But if you look at all the big market cap coins, Cardano, XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, they're very highly liquid coins as well. Smaller cap coins, I mean, there was one coin, I don't know if you know.
Yeah, but it's hard because like with the comparison, because lots of coins show different calculations for their market cap. Usually, market cap in Bitcoin, for example, is all ever minted Bitcoin, so everything which the proof of work system minted in the past times the price. But we know from countless statistics sites from the crypto market that millions of Bitcoins are lost forever because people lost their key to that. Especially in the early days. So why do you still include it in the market cap calculation, for example? And then you have other coins, then for example, like HEX. Market cap of HEX is a never-ending story. What are you going to calculate? Do you calculate all ever created pieces like Bitcoin times the price? Do you calculate all ever created pieces minus the staked pieces and take that times the price for the market cap? Or do you really say, okay, what value is in HEX, and do you only take the staked HEX times the current price to find out like a better number for the market cap? So the only thing that I would like to give you here is maybe you look less on market cap and more on liquidity and market structure, like how many buys do you have, how many sells do you have, and so on.
No, so there's one coin. So one example is I got an idea of a coin. What was it called? It was a metaverse token. Was it Gods? Can't remember what it was called. I think it was Ungod. It was like a metaverse play to earn token, and so I can show you the chart. I mean, if you bring up chart for
we can do that. You can screen share your window, and
yeah,
then we can bring it up.
Anyways, like just what kind of point would you like to do? What would you like to make?
So no, the point I was trying to make was, so they had there's a lockup periods or vesting periods when you invest in small coins. So they had a unvesting time when there's one day they were going to release, I think, 5% of the circulating supply. And the coin, I sold mine, I think 3 days before. And then one of my friends, he was still holding it and he was on holiday. I was like, look, you need to sell. And the price, I can't remember. I mean, I'll get back to you when I find out about the price. And the price dropped about 50% just because there was such a huge unlock of supply.
That's not much. I thought it's like 99% of what you are going to tell me now, because like 5%
exactly.
5% of the total supply is like crazy,
But
Patrick, maybe here on this point, maybe it would be beneficial if you bring up your screen share of the HEX price, because we had a similar situation when it came to HEX on the big payday, right? And big payday, it was programmed into the code that everybody would stake on at least this one day or longer would get more bonus inflation. So there was also inflation coming onto the market on this day, Patrick. And if you bring it up, then maybe we can talk about how this day was traded and maybe how it could be similar in the future when it comes
that
to
would be
HEX trading.
interesting.
Patrick, you got it? Since we want to talk about the HEX chart anyways, but right now he is quiet, so maybe we lost him. The interconnection seems to be not that strong today.
Yeah, no,
But
no, I'm back. I'm back.
All right, perfect.
So was that good? You know, you shared that chart. Was it Hex Vision you shared? It would be good to see. So there's a video I talk about. There's a coin that I was invested in myself. It was called. I'm really bad with thinking today. Give me 2 seconds. So it was another play to earn. Play to earn tokens were crazy. It was Pegaxi. I don't know if you guys heard about it. Pegaxi. It was a similar to Axie Infinity, and I was into that project quite early. And my locking period was, I think, it's 3 weeks. And a week before, when I could dump my tokens, the biggest holder started selling, and I had, I mean, it's all on YouTube. I think I put in about 30k, and that 30k was like 80, 90k. And before I could sell it, it dropped below to 15k within 3 days. If he started dumping 3 days after, when my unstaking was, I would have almost made 100k, and it was worth. I sold this as soon as I got it. Pegaxi, you guys could look it up, the chart, and this is like an important thing. So it'd be quite interesting to see, you know, the big unstaking day. Was it 27th of July, I think you said? Or if we go back and see how it affected price, because I think you guys are probably not
Yeah,
crazy, but
We have
you guys
been
are
there on this day, right? So Patrick knows every single day when it comes to around big payday. So let's jump into that. What happened on that day? Maybe we can explain that to Rocco a little bit, Patrick.
yeah. I mean, that was back in 2020. That was like the end of the launch phase. It was a incentive for everybody to stake his hex before the launch phase ends, in order to get some of this big payday. Where a short-term staker, like only staking for this one day, got like 32% of more hex, and the long-term staker for more than 10 years got a little bit more than a double out of that.
Let's
And
bring up the screen share so we can see it too.
yes, of course. I mean, yeah. So what I'm talking about is like this year, November 2020, and I guess I would need to go in daily in order to see that a little better for you guys.
So what basically what was happening, and I said it already, on this day, everybody staked, right? A lot of people staked. On the next day, those coins would get liquid because they decided to stake only for this one day, because it was programmed into the code that they would get bonus hex. And then you see here what happened then to the price when hex gets released. So I guess you had the same experience with other tokens, right? When people have their coins liquid, they're now able to sell. So Patrick, what happened on this day?
So first of all, to explain like this kind of broken looking chart here, until the beginning of 2021, Hex primarily trading pair was Hex to Ethereum, and only like in the beginning of 2021, the main liquidity providers choose to move that from Ethereum to the USDC chart. That's why the USDC chart earlier than that looks like weird. And what we can see is like here the 19th, I mean from the 19th to the 20th, but starting like with this daily candle, there was the event already done. And what you can see is like, I mean, I would need to go like in smaller time frames, but I mean, I still know it. The day ticked over, so like that was end of the day. The day ticked over, started like way more down already, and the lowest point of this time was like 20 minutes, 30 minutes after the events itself. That's why I came out and said it will be the worst strategy if you are going to purchase Hex, because you want to have Pulse or Pulse X as soon as possible, like right from the get go. because you miss the sacrifice phases, for example. I would not advise anybody to go over the hex route if they want to have pulse or pulse X in the end. If they just want to have hex, that's fine, because look at this chart. From here to here, it's just 6 weeks, and it went to a new all-time high back then. So it's not like this event breaks the coin or something like that, but it has like a huge sell pressure on the event itself. So if you want to move your hex like an hour after the fork, I guess that will be the worst trade you can possibly make.
So why don't we zoom out a little bit, Rocco? I think you have looked at the chart as a trader. Maybe you can talk about where you see the
So
price points for
I
Hex in the
bought some
future.
Hex. So I can share. Let me see if I can share my screen. So I bought some Hex. I'm still in that position on Uniswap.
Nice.
Can I share screen?
You mean like in your wallet, because Uniswap is
Yeah, I've
just
not
like
staked it. It's just on Uniswap.
it's in your wallet. Uniswap is just the
Yes,
the
it's in my wallet.
exchange.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Share screen.
So I think that's going to be interesting for our views where from the trader perspective, somebody would handle Hex coming from the outside, not being in the community,
Yeah,
not
so
caring about
I
the
tweeted
fundamentals
about
too much.
this was my sort of trade. I got in here. I usually buy pullbacks. I bought some here, and I've got my not stop losses on Uniswap MetaMask. And then I'm still in that. This was my first target sort of way. This is where I was targeting. It didn't quite get to where I wanted it to go. And it's pushing up again. So as long as I think this low holds, we should get a rally in Hex. But if we break this support, I think this is this level. This is the pre. I mean, you guys probably know this. This is like the all-time high break. So this should be huge support if it gets down to there. So I've got a position in this, and yeah, let's see if it pushes up. From trading point of view, this is looking bullish.
I mean, if you if you want to see something else as well, to make your trading decisions, you can go on the site, look into Hex, and there you have a whole section about liquidity.
Yep. So, Patrick, maybe you can do that and explain a little bit what we find there.
Yeah, and until it loads, I'm not sure with my internet connection right now. So look into Hex and then search for liquidity there. I guess it's not too
What
bad,
you mean
too
here?
hard.
This chart. I'll get.
That's hex.vision, and then that's like the chart of future market supply, where you see like all the different stake principles and when they are ending, and there is like much more to explore on this side. But what I meant is the site look into Hex. Yeah, exactly.
I'm on look into Hex right now.
And there you have liquidity on the top right.
Liquidity, yep.
Yeah. And here you see that there is, oh wow, there is 70% on the bid side. Good that we bring that up. What does that tell you, Mr. Trader? No, let him talk a little.
So what's your question?
You see that bid and ask spread on the right side,
so
the
where's
green
that
and
from?
red
Where's
one?
this info? Where's this from? This information?
That is decentralized data. That is from Uniswap v2, Uniswap v3. Just scroll a little bit down, then you see exactly like what it is. That is the Uniswap v2 and Uniswap v3, the Hex USDC pair on v2, the Hex ETH pair on v3. Can you stay a bit? Why are you scrolling up and down? If
is that my screen share that we have here right now? I thought this was Rocco's.
No, it's Rocco's. Oh, okay. Yeah, so a little bit down there, you have like the whole explanation of every liquidity pair which is charted there. And the most liquid one is Uniswap v3, the Hex USDC, this one, which has like a total volume of 17 million, split it up by.
Liquid.
No, that's the volume of the decentralized pool. The total amount of volume. And then if you go down, just like straight down, then you have so much hex, is it? And then again down, so much USDC is it? So there are on the hex side, there are only 133 million. And on the USDC side, there are 12 million. and that's why it brings the structure of the liquidity right now. What you can see, like on the top of the page, the bid-ask spread, that 70% wants to buy Hex, and only 30% wants to is on the sell side.
How does this data work? I've not looked at this data.
What do you mean, like work? It's the
How is it
decentralized
calculated? So
pool. It's the sum of the decentralized liquidity pools. Uh, the sum of all the NFT liquidity positions.
so my trade is working well. My long
I
is
don't know.
looking good.
Yeah, of course. I mean, to long Hex long term is always a good thing. And in generally speaking, when we speak a little bit more about trading, longing the market is mostly more beneficial than shorting the market.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
Shorting, I mean,
and yeah,
you need to short hedge as well. I mean, um, if you look at some of the markets, like I've short hedge. I've bought Ethereum spot here. I've gotten quite a bit Ethereum, and I'm gonna look to short it around 1400 as a hedge if it starts breaking down. So because I'm gonna hold spot Ethereum, so if you hedge short, it helps you with big downturns. So. But long, I mean, I've made the most money I've made is in 2017 and 2021. This is where you make money. This chop is just protect your wealth territory.
yeah. I mean, we are like Avid and myself. We are just going with the anti-trading game and just staking our Hex and looking for new innovative things on the market. Where we, for example, like 2 months ago, explained to our community the new coin Pulse Dogecoin, where people already made like a 4x, a 5x on that
Is that
in
on
this bear
Ethereum?
market.
Pulse Doge.
That's on Ethereum, yeah. That's like
Let me have a look.
pulsedoge.com.
Is it on Uniswap?
It's on
Yes.
Uniswap as well, yes. And on
So,
TradingView you can also find it, what I know.
so Patrick,
Yeah,
why don't we give Rocco
PLSD,
a little
USDT.
pitch? Why don't we give Rocco a little
I
bit,
mean, I
a
always
little
love
pitch of
meme
Pulse
coins.
Doge
Uh,
and why the Pulse Doge could be so interesting?
so this is, for example, my recommendation for people who want to get into Pulse or Pulse X before the bridge goes live. And because I guess Pulse Doge has less sell pressure directly after the fork, and I just know from big um, holders in the coin that they will make a decentralized pool as soon as possible after the fork. So like a Pulse Doge Pulse pool and a Pulse Doge Pulse X pool. So much peace.
So Patrick, and why is Pulse Doge so interesting? Like we see here on the side when we bring up the screen share, it is a scarce coin. Whales that want to be whales, they need to buy into their position. It was given out to stakeholders for free, but the whales did not get the biggest, most coins. It's actually the smallest people that got percentage-wise the biggest airdrop in Pulse Doge. And like you said, it could be that the Pulse Doge community is providing liquidity on Pulse chain, and then maybe the price not dropping as much as other coins, for example, right? What is the most interesting thing for you when it comes to Pulse Doge?
Yeah, the scarce supply. So everybody needs to buy up his position. If somebody sells completely off and the price goes up, he uh, just got left out or would need more money to get the same amount of coins back and so on. The total supply will end up like with 6 million coins, something around that. It's also done in the end of the month, so the claim phase is done by the end of the month, and then nobody can get it for free anymore. And yeah, looking at the community, I think they can make a good job in advertising it as the primarily meme coin for Pulse chain. And if you look at other meme coins, they are usually like highly inflation. So, for example, Dogecoin has 10 billion of coins of inflation per year, and this is
Yeah.
a non-inflational coin. And yeah, we spoke about it because it was given for free to HEX stakers. But if you look at the price charts throughout this bear market, it made a 3x of the price of today. So it started at $1, now it's like 3.20. And if you look it up versus the hex price, it even made an 8 or 9x versus hex.
And I just went through the whole page here. I'm showing the distribution phase, how everything is working and so on. So I think it's really interesting to look into it. It is basically what we are not advertising, but talking about the biggest innovation of the Richard Hart ecosystem, which is Hex, Pulsechain, and PulseX. But now there are also derivatives of Hex, for example, coins that are built on top of the Hex game theory with Maxi or Hedron, and now Pulse Doge as well, that came out for free to HEX Stakers, right? And they all have their use case. They are all interesting for us. And for us, it's just like we do not have to look left and right anymore into other coins and being scared of being rug pulled. We have figured out like those safe reserve for us to make money. And I think it's going to be epic. Rocco, the stream is like 1.5 hours now. I want to bring it to the end because in half an hour we have another stream going on in German. Will be also really interesting. I want to invite everybody from the German community to jump on in the chat for in the next 30 minutes. Is there maybe something else that you want to ask us? Everything, something that you got out of the talk today? And of course, my most important question: what do you think? Could Hex and Pulsechain be beneficial to your community? Because I think like everybody has Ethereum or ERC20 coins already, and it would just be so easy to tell them, look, there is this free airdrop. You can do whatever you want with your coins. Is this something you could do, or are you thinking of?
Yeah, I will. I'll share it with my team. There are some of them. I'll share this live stream as well. They can rewatch it because they've seen me post about Doge Hex on my Twitter. They've been asking, "Oh, what is Hex?" So I'll send them to this live stream, so they can watch it and find out. And for myself, like I said, I've long some, and I'll probably wait for healthy Bitcoin when once Bitcoin is healthy. I'll tweet about it, and then maybe I'll come on live stream, and then I'll put some money in and stake live. That'll be a bit of fun and lock it up for, is it 555 you guys call it? Lock some Hex up live, so that'll be pretty cool to do that. So yeah, no, thanks for having me. Learned
So
something.
let me ask you the last question as a trader. Where do you think is the low for Bitcoin in this bear cycle?
I could be wrong. I've bought Bitcoin at 20k, 19k. I've got in ETH mainly. So I've longed ETH. I can tell you my entry as well. I've bought quite a bit of spot. ETH I've got in from 1020. So I don't know if it's the bottom. I'm gonna start selling 1400 Bitcoin. Start selling about 28, 30k if it gets to there, and then reassess. It all depends on the stock market because with all this crazy stuff going on, if Powell starts increasing rates 25 75 basis points next time, it will, I mean, the stock market dumps, Bitcoin will dump, Hex, anything will dump because we were talking about liquidity. As if he keeps raising interest rates, he's going to dry up liquidity, and it's going to affect the market. So I don't know if the bottom is in. I've long 20k as planned. If it breaks 19.8 19.5k, I'll have to start selling my positions, but I've publicly longed some Bitcoin and then ETH as well. So, and my target is 1400 for ETH for my ETH trade, and we'll have to see. But in one of my big mentors in America, he sort of showed me trading. He said he's not even buying anything until Powell starts dropping interest rates. So in history, that has worked quite well. When they start printing money, you buy stuff, like what happened past few years, and then when they start rising interest rates, not printing money, you stop buying stuff. So we'll see what happens long term, but as long as 20k holds, I'm bull.
So the Hexagon community, because of Richard Hart, obviously predicting the last top in 17 and now in 21 as well.
Yeah,
Richard is saying Bitcoin is going down to 11k, but he will also expect it to go down to even 9. But he will say 11k, so he can bragging about it when Bitcoin actually hits this low. So this will be really interesting when this
if a
unfolds.
Bitcoin gets to 10k, I mean, I'm gonna buy. You can, lots of people that can't own full Bitcoin, you could just buy a few Bitcoin and just put it away for, if you believe in crypto. When you guys
but
also believe in Hexicans.
stupid. That is stupid, and you know that as well. Where did you make the most profits in the last two bull runs? It was never in Bitcoin, I believe, because just like buying spot and holding that, how much profit did you make in 2017?
Not in Bitcoin, but I've made money trading Bitcoin. In altcoins, obviously,
Yeah, but
altcoins is the
leverage,
crazy money's been made.
100x leverage, or because otherwise you won't get like huge profits out of that.
So trading wise, I mean, I trade 20x leverage, 10x leverage, but long term altcoins they usually go down. I mean, I don't know if you know about Vertcoin. I had big stack in Vertcoin. That's just going down. There'll be new Solanas, there'll be new Lunas, there'll be always like new coins that pump, and that's
And
when you'll get the big moves.
there is the money, and there is the money in my point of view, and not like if you leverage trade Bitcoin or
No, but if
Ethereum.
there's new
If you
traders coming, I mean, you've got experience. But if there's
why
new
don't
traders
you
coming,
why
they get in.
did you only buy Ethereum spot, for example? Why didn't you bought it like with 10 or 20x leverage to get like more upside potential?
No, but then if you're leverage trading, then if it goes down, you have to sell it, won't you? You need to have stop losses in place. I mean,
Of course.
I've longed Bitcoin. I can share that. I've posted it on Twitter. I've longed Bitcoin today, and I had a stop loss in place because that was 10x, 15x leverage. So if you're trading leverage, you need to have like spot. You could just be like, look, I'm going to buy some and hold, and I do some of it. Mainly Bitcoin, Ethereum are the only two that I hold, but if you're leverage trading, you've got to be really careful because unless you have
Yeah,
stops in
I
place.
agree. Like with leverage trading, you always need a planned trade, like with exit price and stop loss.
Yeah,
And yeah, but
but I
still, like
agree with what you said. Most people will. The crazy money is made in altcoins. The Luna getting in less than $5, going to $100 with any small size. That's like
yeah,
crazy money. And then Shiba, then Flocky was another one I got in quite early. Theta 80 cent, that went to like 4 or 5. There's so many coins that pump. That's where you can turn like 5 figures to 6, 7, whatever.
that's
But
like
then newbies can just hold. Newbies, they just hold. So I've got someone that hold Litecoin from like $100 to 400. He's still holding Litecoin. So unless you know what you're doing, I mean, you've got experience. You know when to get in, when to sort of get out. A lot of newbies just hold. I mean, there's one guy that's still holding Luna, and he had over 6 figures in Luna, and I was like, why are you? And he doesn't want to sell. He's just gonna hold. So it depends on who. So most people would just be most new people that are new to trading would benefit just buying Bitcoin or just staking Hex or just buying ETH and holding rather than trying to trade. And I've been doing this so many
I
years. I
agree
spend 20
with the
minutes.
last two things what you say, but I don't agree on the Bitcoin thing because what kind of upside potential do you have? If Bitcoin goes down to 10K and there you buy, and then it goes like to 100K, where everybody thought that like a year ago that it will go to 100K to 100K, then
Yeah,
you have
that's
a
a
10
10x.
upside. Yeah, only. I
That's
mean,
still big money. I'd be happy with a
yeah,
10x.
I disagree on that. Like with the hex market, hex did 10,000 x, and I know plenty of people who got more than 1,000 x in their portfolio.
Yeah, you can't
That is
predict. I
like
mean, predict
making
the
money
next
because
hex.
then you can change lives with $1,000 or euros.
But this is
And
a great thing. We do not need to predict the next hex, right? We have hex. Hex is an amazing coin that has this game theory, and now it pulls and pulls
Hex
X
to do,
coming out.
but it's the same argument as like Bitcoin. Like Hex's market cap is it top 200 coin now, Hex? So for it to do, I think if it does 1,000x, that Hex will be above Bitcoin.
yeah, of
Exactly.
course.
That's kind of, I mean, if it does that, then I don't know, that would be crazy.
I
Yeah,
think
I mean,
we have seen almost really
and then it
close. Hex
goes
was
back again, no, and then it goes back again, like how do you calculate the market cap? Are we calculating all ever minted pieces times the price? Then it's
Yeah.
easy for Hex to go over Bitcoin because then it only needs to reach like the last all-time high because Bitcoin fell down so much. Yeah. So if Hex goes to the last all-time high and you calculate the market cap the same way as Bitcoin does it, Hex market cap would be already exceeding Bitcoin's.
Yeah. But I mean, a lot of it is, yeah, I get what you're saying because how do you calculate the market cap? You've made a good point there.
Yeah, and it's only a calculated number. So I don't know why a lot of guys are thinking that's like a huge trading indicator. It's just a calculated number, which does not make any sense in the cryptocurrency space. On the stock market, it might make sense, yeah, even not there. But there are usually no more stocks come out on a stock company only if they make like stock splits and that kind of stuff or new give outs. But usually the stocks remain the same. They don't have inflation. That's why you can have that as a kind of an indicator. But then again, it just depends on the liquidity and on how much stocks or how much coins people want to sell into what kind of a liquidity structure. And right now, if you look at the liquidity structure of Hex, you see that 70% wants to buy it. I mean, you would need to look deeper into the pools, like on what zones, on which lines might be that everybody just puts up a one-sided liquidity position at 1 penny. I don't know. I don't think so. But generally speaking, there is 70% of buy pressure and only 30% of sell pressure, which should bring up the price, you know. And you said you are waiting like for a confirmation of a trend change. I guess this is your confirmation.
Yeah, I mean, I've said that I've longed the hex on the chart. I've longed it around 3.8, I think, or 3.6.
Mm-hmm.
So on Uniswap, that is, I've bought some. So I'll see. My
Mm-hmm.
target that I shared on Twitter was 6 cent. It didn't quite reach it. I think it reached 55, 5.5 cent.
It
Um,
was 5.5. Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, you're right. It went up.
Yeah, and then yeah, we'll see. I'll leave that on. I'll update on Twitter if it does hit target. But yeah, that was the sort of a hex trade. But no, I really enjoyed being here, guys. And yeah, if Pulse Chain launches, I'll definitely would like to come on again and learn from you guys on Pulse Chain.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
We
of course.
have strategies when it comes to that, obviously. So I hope you liked it. I enjoyed it a lot here. Sorry for my video issues today. I hope you like my hex line picture. And
No, it's good. I don't think I follow you. Hex Line is on Twitter. I'll make sure I follow you. I know.
I'm on Twitter. I'm only on Telegram.
Oh, you're on Telegram. Okay, I follow a bit Hex, obviously, but no. Well, thank you guys, and yeah, it's good to obviously speak to people with different, because I'm more of a trader, and you guys have been obviously learning more about fundamentals. It's always good to speak to people with different backgrounds, different way of thinking. So really enjoyed it. So thanks, guys, and yeah, I'll catch you guys later then.
Yeah.
Catch you later. As soon as push chain is
Cheers.
out, we will have you on again, and then let's see how the biggest airdrop in crypto history will
No
unfold.
worries, and cheers, mate. Cheers for having me, mate.
You're welcome.
See you,
Bye
Take
bye.
Rafa.
care. Bye.
Thanks for
So,
being on.
David, do you see any more questions from the chat? Because if not, then let's make it short. Say thanks for everybody out there for tuning in today. Don't forget about the like and subscribe thing. We still want to reach the 1,000 subscribers on KSB TV channel. And yeah, do we have anything else?
The chat was really active, talking to each other. A lot of PLSD fans. I think the community of PLSD is really growing. It is something. Somebody is saying PLSD is the only interesting thing going on right now. So this is really cool to see. Patrick, it was a lot of fun. Again, we now have to get prepared for our German stream. So I want to bring everybody along the German community. Go to Crypto Sparbuch in 30 minutes. We will stream there continuously talking about Hex. We will dive deep more into the price chart, because since we didn't do that today too much on the English stream, we will definitely do that on the German one. So thanks everybody for being here in the chat. Like Patrick said, go to ksb.tv and subscribe over there. And in 30 minutes, we will be on Crypto Sparbuch.
Exactly. And then don't forget Twitter as well, like at KSBTV1, at CryptoSparbuch, and at abit_hex as well. So that's it. Thanks a lot for tuning in, guys. I hope you liked the stream today, and see you soon. Bye bye.